Okay, let's just get to the point here. Deductibles, co-pays, max out of pocket. What gives, man? What's up with that? What are we talking about here? Are they the same? Are they all different? This is a question I've had. You've explained it to me literally like a dozen different times over the years.
I'm going to break it down, to the ridiculous.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get deep.
On healthinsurancethinktank.com, we like to break it down to the ridiculous. So, on the doctor office copay benefit, okay? Your copay with some plans will cover the doctor's charge and other services that you have done. Some copay benefits only cover the doctor's charge. So that's a big difference. If your health plan copay only covers the doctor's charge, then if on that visit that you go to see him when you have strep throat, that strep test is going to be subject to your deductible. And if not met, then you're going to get a bill for $180 for that strep test. Reason being is because your copay benefit only paid the doctor's charge, which is about, on a primary physician, about $90 usually, and for a specialist about $180, $190.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves a lot of people sour, because when people go to the doctor and they make their co-payment,
Right.
They feel like they're paid in full on that visit. As far as they know, the copay benefit covers the doctor's charge plus the other services that they're having done. And that is the way that plans always used to work, but as things have gotten more expensive and with these exchange policies now, you're going to see that your copay benefit is only covering the doctor's charge. It doesn't cover any other services you have done. So if you have blood work, culture swab for strep throat, an x-ray, generally the doctor's going to do something rather than just hit your knee and say, well, your reflexes look good, So if they do something outside of just check your reflexes, those charges are going to fall outside of the doctor copay benefit or his charge, and are going to fall into additional medical charges that are going to be, you're going to have to pay if your deductible isn't met.
How about for prescription medications? Do most of the providers still do a copay when you go to the pharmacy? You want to pick up your medicine, you pay a copay there?
There's a couple of different ways that can work. Let's say that you have a copay. Then when you go to pick up that medication, depending upon the tier that it is, your copay will be somewhere between $10 and $40. That's for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Now there is the potential that the medication that you need is going to be subject to your deductible. Say if you're taking a like an injectable medication for MS, okay? A medication like that, a specialty formulary brand medication, that's going to be, say, thousands of dollars a month to take. Those drugs can be subject to your deductible and max out of pocket.
Okay, so which brings us to the next question. I mean, what's up with the deductible and then the max out of pocket? It seems like, once you hit the deductible, it should be in the
100%
provider's
paid,
hand,
right? Yeah.
I mean, so let's delve
The
into
insurer
that.
should be paying all that, yeah. So used to, that's the way it worked. A person's deductible was the indicator of how much money they would be out if something bad happened. And over time, as medical costs and things have gotten more expensive, to make policies cheaper, just like the copay benefit only covering the doctor's charge, what they did was they added co-insurance. And that is, everybody's had a plan that after the deductible, they have to pay, the plan pays 90-10 or 80-20 or 70-30. That's called co-insurance, which is basically a second deductible after your primary deductible. And those two, the deductible and your co-insurance, add up to what is your ultimate decider of how much you're going to pay, which is your max out of pocket, which in today's terms, and what I call your ultimate deductible, that's what you're going to have to pay. Say you have an $87,000 bill over at the hospital, you're going to be responsible for your deductible and your co-insurance, which is going to add up to your max out of pocket. So if you have $1,000 deductible,
okay,
and you have a $5,000 max out of pocket with an 80-20 co-insurance,
okay,
and you have an $86,000 claim, the first $1,000 is on you because that's your deductible. The co-insurance, the 80-20, is where the insurance company is going to pay 80 and you're going to pay 20.
okay,
Until that 20% adds up to another $4,000
gotcha.
in bills to you. Then the policy will pay 100% because you are at your max out of pocket of $5,000 on that $1,000 deductible plan.
That was great. That was really good description. I mean, that's as clearly as it's ever been explained to me. Usually I try to figure that out and my eyes just glass over and it loses me somewhere, but that was good.
Sometimes trying to explain it's you can lose yourself but what it comes down to is, the way I always try and think of it is basically, your max out of pocket is basically, in the 21st century, is two deductibles. The traditional deductible that you pay 100% of, and then the 21st century deductible, which is the co-insurance,
Okay.
which is where you and the insurance company share the responsibility in the bills after the deductible. And then that max out of pocket states your cap on the most that you can pay with your deductible and your co-insurance.
Yeah, well, I think that really cleared it up for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people watching out there. So we're going to put a link to another video where we think that we have a solution for some people that might be a better option than actually
Fantastic.
waiting for a long time to hit that deductible and then, the max out of pocket. Let me ask you something. What is the highest deductible that you remember seeing and the highest max out of pocket? Do you have any numbers that you remember from any of your clients in the past?
Typically a $10,000 deductible with a $30,000, max out of pocket would probably be, that's probably the highest out of pocket I've ever seen. Typically speaking, when they develop these plans, they're trying to have people somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 10,000 in out of pocket expenses, because most people can absorb 5,000 or 10,000. It's when it gets to be 30 or more that but that's about the highest I've seen as far as deductibles and co-insurance, is where you've got a 10,000 deductible with a 30,000 max out of pocket. We don't anymore, but we used to have a carrier that offered a 25,000 deductible. Then it paid 100% to $1 million.
Okay.
Now that company doesn't offer that plan anymore, but that was a good choice for a lot of people.
Cool.
It was. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you sticking around to the end. We're trying to keep these videos short and sweet in bite-sized chunks for you guys. We're going to link to another video where we think we've found a workaround for those of you who don't want to wait thousands of dollars before your insurance starts kicking in to help you out. Come check us out at healthinsuranceThinkTank.com. We've got answers to a lot of your questions, a lot of resources that can help you out to navigate the healthcare process, find doctors, frequently asked questions, and a whole lot more. We'll see you next time.